What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Soul Hoops podcast. My name is Jeffrey, and I'm joined, as always, by my hosts Ryan and Matthias. How we doing today, guys?
I'm doing good. It's a nice Friday. I don't have class on Friday, which is like
Me
a
neither.
lot of colleges don't have classes on Friday. It's like I didn't know about that. It's like a new. I don't know if it's a new thing, but
Yeah,
yeah,
I don't know
Yeah,
what
I
it
don't.
is either.
I'm not blessed with that.
yeah.
Yeah, you Western folk aren't about that. I feel like it's a Midwest thing.
Ugh.
I don't really hear about it in
I
other
low-key
places.
think it is too,
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've never heard about no Friday school.
yeah. Basketball has been super exciting the last 2 weeks. I was saying that to Matthias before we started recording. Like there's a lot going on, and I am excited to get to talking about it.
Yeah, I agree. I think basketball's been interesting. Lots of rumors flying around.
Yeah.
And I think everyone, I'm just excited for this week with the trade deadline and stuff. So should be another good week of basketball next week. But before we get started, I want to say to anybody that is watching, so leave a like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Follow us on socials. Get that in there before we kick it off. But first things first, we got to talk about the All-Star reserves being released last night on the TNT broadcast before a hilarious Celtics-Lakers game. Absolutely hilarious game. But they released all the All-Star reserves. We should go through that list probably. Just give me 1 second while I get it pulled up.
I got it here.
You got it? Okay.
Yeah, so starters were already announced about a week ago, and reserves were announced on TNT before the game last night. We'll start with the East. Bam Adebayo, Paulo Banchero, Jaylen Brown, Jalen Brunson, Tyrese Maxey, Donovan Mitchell, Julius Randle. And then in the West, we've got Devin Booker, Steph Curry, Anthony Davis, Anthony Edwards, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Karl Anthony Towns.
It's an interesting list. I wanted to say this before we talk about anybody that might have been snubbed or anything like that. I feel like, and I don't think it's really that bad, but it feels like they rewarded winning teams more than they ever have this season. Like every team that's like a really good team got 2 All-Stars.
Mhm.
I mean, I feel like that's usually the memo. If you're
Yeah,
a top,
obvious.
if you're a
Yeah,
top
no,
seed, you get the benefit of the doubt.
no,
usually.
yeah, like that's not. Yes, usually that is how it works. Like obviously, like the Celtics being the best team, I expected them to get 2 All-Stars, whether it was Jaylen Brown or,
Yeah, I would
Kristaps.
say that's the case for the East for sure, but the West, I don't know, because you still got guys like the Lakers have 2 All-Stars.
Yeah,
Um,
well, yeah, and that's
know.
a little bit. It's always hard with the Lakers because like LeBron is going to get
They're-
a ton
they're-
of
Yeah.
fan votes and stuff. So
No Fox or Sabonis either. Like if
No Fox and Sabonis, no
like
Pelicans
if we're in a
either.
perfect,
no
yep,
Pelicans.
if we're
yeah.
trying to reward players for being all-star level
Yeah.
players,
I
those
don't
are-
think it was like. I just thought it was interesting. Like the Clippers, like obviously they've been so good recently, so I think they did deserve 2 All-Stars. But it is interesting that they chose to give Paul George the nod as I don't even know what. I'm guessing he was a forward this year, right? Or is he playing shooting guard again?
Dude, he has been listed at every single position. It feels like
I have no
the
idea.
last couple of years.
I'm guessing he's a shooting guard because I think Kawhi. I don't know what he did.
Whoa, what is going on with my basketball reference?
But either way, like it's just interesting, like that they would give it to PG over
Power
a guy.
forward.
He's a power forward.
Yeah, small forward, power forward, shooting guard is.
Oh, because what do they run out there? Are they? I hate getting starting lineups. Do they run Harden, Paul George, Kawhi, Zubac, and Trey Mann?
I think so.
Is that their starting? I'm so bad with the starting lineups. I think that's their starting. Though.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
Yeah, that is their starting lineup.
Yeah.
On ESPN, Kawhi Leonard's listed as starting power forward.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm guessing it's just forward spot then.
Yeah.
So either way, but like I think it's interesting that they would give it to him over a guy like Sabonis, who's been really good. But I can't really blame him. This is sound haterish. I'd rather watch Paul George than Sabonis in the All-Star game. Anyways, it sounds more fun. But
yeah.
But yeah, and there'll be some injury replacement guys, which we can get to. First off, the snub list, it's just Trae Young. I don't really think anyone else got like super snubbed.
Scotty
Yeah,
Barnes, I think.
he has
I
an
think
argument. There's an argument
I
there.
think he didn't win enough, but like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
I am skeptical on the Paulo Banchero All-Star. I think like
Same.
he
Yeah,
like deserves it, but he's
I-
just on the line.
Yeah, I didn't want to. I don't want to say it because I like Paulo a lot and I like the
I love
Magic.
the guy.
But if I have to choose between whether a spot should go to Paulo or Trey, I'm picking Trey. And like the difference in seed between the two teams is not even that good. Like the Magic have really slowed down after their
Yeah.
hot start.
They're only like one game back from being the 9 seed.
They're
pretty sure.
barely hanging in there right now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know. I love Paulo. I'm happy for him. I'm happy for the Magic. But I don't know if he wouldn't have been on my ballot.
Yeah, I mean,
think both
they're
Trae Young and Scotty Barnes, I would put over them, and I'm sure they're missing somebody as well. That's like a forward-ish player.
Yeah, Jaylen Brown making it. I know it's surprising to some people, but like he's been quietly having one of his best seasons. Jaylen Brown.
yeah, his numbers are down, but he's been pretty
Numbers
good.
are down, but eye test shows that he's been really good this year. On the number 1 seed, I don't think you can deny him an All-Star appearance based off that. Other than that, Bam deserves it. Donovan Mitchell, we knew he'd make it. Tyrese Maxey, we knew he'd make it. Jalen Brunson should have been a starter. I think we all can kind of agree on that. And Julius Randle is injured. He will probably need a replacement. I imagine. Do you guys know how? Do they need to
I think it's
replace
just
him with a
anybody.
forward, or
I
can
think
it
it's
be
just
anybody?
anybody. I think
Okay.
It's anybody.
If it's anybody, I imagine Trae Young will just take that spot.
I see Derek White's
He'll
name gets
deny it.
called instead of him. I'm going to actually like
Trae Young will probably just deny the request again, because didn't he do that last year or the year before, something like that?
I know someone did it one of these last few years. Where
I
they
think it was Trae. I can't remember.
I don't remember.
But
I imagine
there will be two. There will be two East injury
because
replacements as well.
Embiid too, which we'll get to a little bit. We'll get more in depth with that a little bit later. But if they need to replace 2 spots, I imagine Matthias, what you said, Trey and Scotty can easily slide in there.
And also Derek White.
Derek White.
I'm not gonna lie. I could see Derek White getting the nod over Scotty, and it goes Trey, Derek White.
We'll see though, because the way replacements work is that Adam Silver himself picks the replacements. It's not like whoever's next in the voting. Adam just makes the call himself. So we'll see who ends up picking with that.
You are correct, Matthias, by the way. He did decline our injury replacement in 2021.
Weird.
Yeah. So I think he'd do it again. So we'll see.
He could. Yeah.
It might be bad press. Like maybe just taking the high road. And
He's got the lowest
doing the
PR machine in the entire NBA. I don't know.
Yeah.
How. Like, he gets slandered more. He gets slandered more for himself instead of the team. Like I genuinely think that Trae Young's always going to be one of those players that if no matter what, the blame's always going to be on him. Like, and that's just how the NBA is a lot of the time. But like, there's also players where you're watching them and you just understand that it's not their fault. Dame had been in that scenario the last few years. Like, you understand that it's not Dame's fault.
Yeah.
That
I think it's. I can't remember who was talking about this, but the next player was talking about this on like a talk show or whatever, and they were like, the imperfections of players are so highlighted now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like no one's talking. Like Trae Young's defense is so highlighted for no reason, and his limitations are highlighted that people just ignore all of his greatness on the court.
And he's been
people aren't doing that about.
He actually hasn't even been that bad on defense this year. He's been trying. He's going the Allen Iverson, early Steph Curry route, where it's like, I'm gonna understand that I'm way too small to be a POA defender, which is fine. He has DeJounte Murray in the backcourt right now, so like, that's fine. But it's just I'm gonna get him passing lanes. I'm gonna get some steals. I'm gonna be a better help defender on guards and stuff like that. And it's worked for them. I don't know.
Hey, Trae Young's help defense ruined a whole point guard's career. So
yeah,
I Underrated defender.
Yeah, I think he's been fine. Honestly,
I
I don't think
agree,
he.
yeah.
I don't. There's another guy that's a starter, up in Indy that's worse on defense than him. I'm going to tell you that. Like,
Yep.
so
No,
it's just
100%.
yeah. So it's just interesting.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes, though. I
The biggest talking about point about the All-Star game though is like the Dame over Jalen Brunson and Donovan Mitchell thing, but it's just like, does it really matter who's a starter or not? Like, no, it's really
It
not
doesn't
that
matter. It
serious.
doesn't.
no.
It's just a formality, I guess.
It's
Who's
just
a
like a
starter.
stupid fan thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and also like, I just thought it was so hilarious how it's like they're like putting the numbers. It's like Dame's numbers this week, and then it was like Brunson's numbers this week, and then it was like one's an all-star, one's not. It's like, dude, he's gonna be an all-star on Thursday, dude. Like,
Brunson
Yeah.
was a lock to make it. Like, my God, like the stat muse screenshots of like a player's stats has set society back generations.
Okay,
Like,
I
gotta
have
be
this
done with that.
I have this awesome like thing that I always think about. It's like every NBA season there's a new gimmick or there's a new gimmick and there's a new advanced stat that everybody gets locked in on. So like the gimmick this year is just like basic PRA and then like their field goal percentage with like just like their stat muse photo, no matter
Yeah.
who it is. And then the advanced stat that everyone gets obsessed with every season, like it was like Vorp was like the big one when Jokic won MVP. Then it was like LeBron, and now all people talk about is EPM. That's all.
I was about to
anybody's
say DEPM is all I see.
It's so stupid. I'm like, dude, because like then like because like these are good stats. Like I'm not gonna say they're not right. Like I don't like Vorp because Vorp is like very arbitrary. It's like,
Yeah.
what is a replacement player? That doesn't mean
The
anything.
backup.
Yeah,
And, like if you have a shitty backup.
like okay, but it's like the casual Twitter fan, like or like the stupid aggregate like shit posting accounts get a hold of these things, and then they're just like, Derek White's DEPM is in the 99th percentile of the NBA. All-star him. It's like, bro, that's like there needs to be context behind these stats.
Yeah.
Like, like it's less impressive for a role player to have that high of a DEPM than it is like if Giannis has a 99 DEPM and a 99 OEPM. Like it just doesn't make any sense. It's so
when I was more of like an overt agenda pusher on Twitter, like I still am like a little bit, but
yeah, I was about to say,
yeah, you are.
Like,
it used to be okay. It
Oh,
used to
God,
be
yeah.
it used to be way worse. And
Dude, this summer was
Do you
bad.
guys-
I'll tell you that much.
do you guys remember like the flirting versus harassment memes from like
Yeah.
2 summers ago?
yeah.
I was putting in work making those.
Oh,
defending,
yeah.
defending Cat, Ant, D'Lo, didn't matter. I was in the lab
Oh.
making those. Man,
That's hilarious.
That's funny.
good times.
That is funny. I have
okay.
we can go on to the next thing, I guess, which it kind of runs in with All-Stars and Embiid's injury. So he has a partially torn, like he has a torn meniscus, but they don't know how the extent of the damage is. He's going through more testing this weekend. They'll get a treatment plan and a timetable to return to play. So it's wraps for his MVP, obviously. Regardless of, I just want to put this out there. I think the 65 games thing has had a lot of scrutiny in it. But I will say this: if there was not that requirement and Joel tore his meniscus still, he wouldn't win it.
No. There's
The
only
problem
been
that
three
I don't
MVPs
like
not
is
in
though,
short
I don't
seasons.
have a problem with it for the awards. I do have a problem for all NBA and like
Players' money is attached to All NBA. Here's the thing about the thing though with Embiid. Like if he had still sustained this injury, he wouldn't have been voted MVP. But also, the only reason he was playing in that Warriors game was because he wanted to get to the 65 game.
minimum for sure.
Like we knew, like it started against Denver. Like whatever happened there, right?
What I mean, I'm just gonna make a guess. He just had knees. Like his knee was probably just swollen. Like he probably had knee inflammation coming off a flight, warming up, and I've talked about it on the pod before. A doctor's going to see inflammation. They're going to immediately be like, a trainer's going to be like, no, your injury of risk is higher. Like, why are you putting this guy out there?
Yeah.
And that's what it was. Like, I don't think he was playing with a torn meniscus, but he was playing with.
There was something
wrong. He shouldn't have been cleared. He shouldn't have been cleared.
He should not have been playing any games in the last 2 weeks. Like what happened in Denver, where he was the late scratch, where he was so vocal about, I'm playing in Denver, I'm going to play, and then he didn't. That was a bad look for the league. It was a bad look for Embiid, both teams involved. That was just a PR disaster.
Yeah. Especially if one thing about that quick. I am going to call out because there is no reason for the Nuggets coaching staff to get up at the presser after the game and call out that type of stuff. Like, there's literally no reason for Mike Malone to say anything regarding
I felt like that was unnecessary too.
It's really and obviously I just felt it was unprofessional, honestly, as an NBA head coach. And especially with the players on his roster, dude. Jamal Murray missed 2 years almost because of knee inflammation following his just nagging injuries. Michael Porter Jr. back almost gave out 2 years ago.
Yeah. It just sucks because they basically went through the questionable protocol. They just didn't list him as questionable. Yeah. That's it. That's literally all the Sixers had to do was he has knee inflammation in the morning and say questionable. And then when he warms up, you're not in trouble.
The entire thing was just a PR disaster, right? But it also kind of raised a red flag to me. Like, if in this super anticipated matchup, if they were going to see Embiid 15 minutes before the game tipped off and be like, you cannot play, I was like, okay, I imagine something is seriously wrong with his knee. But because of the 65 game minimum to qualify for MVP and for All-NBA, he still ended up playing the
following night, I believe, or the 2 nights later or something like that.
2 nights later. He missed a game against Portland and then played in Golden State, right? Yeah.
Yes.
He played in Golden State. Jonathan Kuminga fell on Embiid's knee. He had to leave. He went to the locker room. He shouldn't have been playing in that game. Seeing him play too, it was not the Embiid that we had been seeing, give teams the most effortless 35 in the history of the game. It was not the same player. He shouldn't have been playing. And getting that news last night in the middle of when All-Stars were being announced, was devastating. It was brutal. Yeah.
Especially because Embiid was running away with everything. If I'm being honest.
Yeah,
he was having a great season.
Oh yeah, nobody was touching him.
No, he was the clear-cut MVP.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna sound like a hater. I am, but Jokic has not been the second best player.
No, he hasn't. I agree.
I don't know what it is. I don't think I've ever seen a player with this much media support in my entire life. I don't think I've ever seen that before. What player that at a superstar level has this level of media support? Literally, when is there anything negative said about the guy?
I mean, coming off the run he had last year,
no, and I don't blame
he's
him.
Earned that.
He deserves a lot of credit for that, and he had a great season last year.
In terms of player rankings, he deserves the benefit of the doubt, but MVP rankings, it's this season.
MVP, not he's
not. And this is what pisses me off the most. And this is gonna sound stupid, but this is his worst season in the last 4 years. This is his least efficient season. This is overall, this is his worst season in the last 4 years. Last season he was better than this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and he didn't win it last year. I would have no problem if he would have won it last year. And it's it's just I don't understand it, man. I just don't get it. I think it should be Shea.
I think Shea's been number 2 this year.
I think Shea should be the MVP front runner, assuming Joel is out of it. I was frankly pretty surprised and confused when the NBA.com MVP ladder is dumb. And
The
like,
ladders are never accurate. I
don't
remember
think I
Giannis
don't-
leading the depoy
Yeah.
ladder for like 80% of the year. Then all of a sudden he was like 8th, and it was like, okay,
yeah, like
okay,
it's always a bit dumb, but I was a bit confused this morning
I
to wake up and see
yes.
Nikola Jokic was number 1. I was like, come on, like
I also thought it was
no,
pretty funny that Sabonis was like 6 or 7, and he wasn't even an All-Star.
yeah,
I mean,
top 6
that's
MVP, but not an All-Star. Voting is so
yeah.
weird like that. Like there are so many weird things. It's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Speaking
for
of
the
Sabonis,
Sixers, oh,
though,
sorry, go ahead.
I do want to like, should he have made it over Cat? Because I think it could have gone other way. And I'm
Who?
just Sabonis over Cat.
Oh, probably.
Yeah.
I think Cat's been good. I think Rudy probably deserves it more than Cat.
That's kind of what I think too.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I was ecstatic to see Cat in the All-Star game because having 2 All-Stars is cool. But I did not expect him to make it really over Rudy or Sabonis or Fox or that was surprising to me.
I'm shocked Fox was not.
Yeah, that feels like a snub too. Like he
Yeah.
could have made it over Paul George, or Cat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where were we? Sixers?
Yeah, we're talking about the
Embiid,
Sixers.
Yeah.
Embiid's injury. I mean, Tony MC. Wait, not MCL, meniscus, right?
I'd be like, whoa.
No, lateral meniscus, right?
Yeah.
Left lateral meniscus.
I don't know if
I
it's a tear. Actually, I think it's just a. I don't know if they know what it is yet.
They don't know if it's
okay.
a partial. It's not a full tear.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm
I mean,
expecting.
he's probably out for the season. I mean, that's just
It's-
that
I
big
don't
of a
know.
body.
It meniscuses are weird because depending on the severity of it, once the swelling goes down with treatment, he could probably play in a couple weeks.
Yeah,
But
are they gonna
sometimes it's
wanna
like a
do that?
2-month injury.
Yeah.
They've got to finish all the testing though, because I was listening to Zach Lowe this morning, and he was saying how there's a chance he's out for the whole season. There's a chance he's out for a month,
6 weeks.
3 weeks,
Yeah.
6 weeks. We just don't know. We don't know yet. I don't think they're in Philly right now, or if they are, they're getting back today because they were in Utah last night. So I'm sure when they get back to Philly, Embiid will undergo more testing. But yeah, it's a weird situation, and removing the MVP part of it, just talking. I mean, to give a second on Philly's season and their championship aspirations, like I thought if there was going to be any year, like this was going to be the year for them, especially if they were active in the trade market. Like,
Yeah.
I think the East is more wide open than it has been in past years. Like the Celtics, I think are vulnerable. The Bucks are vulnerable. The Knicks are vulnerable. Like the Heat are vulnerable. There are a lot of teams that are vulnerable, and I was like, okay, Embiid's coming off his best season. Maxey looks like to be the most reliable co-star he's ever had. Guys like Tobias Harris, Kelly Oubre, D'Anthony Melton, Nick Batum.
Yeah.
They had contributors
Sixers were
this year.
due.
They were due. They could have bought at the trade deadline, get another piece. I thought if there was any year where like they could really make a real run and Joel Embiid could have his real playoff run, I was like, well, it's probably this year, and this injury puts that all in jeopardy. It'll be interesting to see
100%.
how they hang on in the standings as well, because I believe they're 5th right now, right? Because I think that the Knicks have been hot, the Cavs have been hot. I believe the Sixers
They're
fell.
fifth.
They
they're fifth.
fell a little bit. So
Yeah, they've been pretty rough the last few weeks. Last 10 games, I think they have like the 26th ranked defense overall. Yeah, it's been rough for them. And their offense fell off for a little bit too. Philly is way too dependent on Embiid to be a right now. They just are. And that was going to happen when they traded Harden, obviously. Like they don't have a third guy. Like Tobias is fine. But
he's not a 3.
No, he's not.
And like the whole roster is filled with just like aging role players.
Yeah, and that's not really a fault of their team building. It's just like
It's why they did it though. They did this on purpose.
Yeah, and if you
All
subtract
the all,
if you
all the
subtract
contracts
the
expiring.
MVP from any team, like they're going to be
Yeah,
a lot
obviously.
worse. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm bummed. Like it's just a enormous bummer. Like these injuries, especially to the MVP front runner. Like, has this
Yeah.
ever happened in recent history where like the clear cut MVP front runner just gets injured and then it's gone? Like,
I mean,
that's
in a way, didn't Derrick Rose tear his ACL like beginning of the year after his MVP? I don't know if he was having a good year, but did he
No,
tear
he
it
tore
like
his
the year
ACL in the
after?
playoffs, didn't he?
Oh, playoffs, yeah.
I think it was the
He
playoffs.
tore,
Like,
he tore it
yeah.
multiple times, so like,
Yeah,
I
the
can't
first
remember which
time
one's
though
the first time.
was
Oh yeah, because they
in
were
the
like
playoffs
up
because they were up
Tibbs,
by like 20 with like 3 minutes left, and Tibbs had him
Tibbs
up.
terrorism time.
Yeah.
I don't
Oh.
trust Tibbs to coach the Knicks, bro, to like be a contending team. I
think they have like the perfect Tibbs guys though.
Oh yeah, they have their entire roster is just copy and paste of each other. That's why when they say they want to get Bruce Brown, I'm like, you need 5 Bruce Browns on your roster. You already have Grimes, DiVincenzo, Josh Hart, and then you want to add Grimes or
Bruce
Brown to that too. Go get a
Yeah.
scorer, bro, please.
Yeah, they need someone to replace Quickly's.
Just go get
scoring,
Brogdon, dude.
sure.
Just send him a first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brogdon, by the
should go
way,
get Brogdon.
Brogdon, buddy. Every time you get traded, the gimmick's done, buddy. You can't just call everyone that you're not valued at every place that trades you, bro. Just shut up, bro.
They can't say that about Portland.
Yeah,
We're playing him closing minutes over Scoot Henderson right now, so like we're valuing him a lot.
Yeah, well, dude, the guy literally every single time he goes from a different city. I don't think he said anything about Indy because like Indy was like whatever, but like when he left the Bucks, which he left in free agency, left the Bucks, he was like, yeah, that city's racist. It's like, all right, dude. And then it's like,
Yeah, he didn't like
Boston.
Milwaukee at all.
Well, I don't like his ass either. Hit a
Oh,
jump
that's
shot.
kinda
Hit a jump shot in the 2019 Eastern Conference Finals, please. Please, somebody do that. And then guess what? Giannis will be in GOAT talks. Jesus Christ, man. God, I hate that. I look back at that roster. I'm like, God, this team is the most pathetic thing I've ever looked at in my life.
2019.
Ersan Ilyasova playing for my team.
Jesus.
I'm telling you, the 2021 Blazers, right? That was the first year of the tank, I think. Maybe it's 2022. I don't remember, but it was. We were rolling the lineup of Keljin Blevins and like CJ Elleby.
guys.
Ooh, that's rough.
Yeah, like some of the worst basketball you can watch in the NBA for sure.
NBA insider GOAT, the legend himself, has tweeted out Milwaukee and Dallas up first.
Oh,
for what?
I don't know. You guys know that account though, right? NBA insider.
Yeah, like that. It has like the black logo, right, or something like that.
No, it's just like an NBA logo with like money behind it.
Oh, I've seen this account. This is
it's like a troll account, but it's just funny.
You guys saw that tweet from yesterday where like that guy who's gotten some crazy stuff right before was like LeBron's getting traded. Like it's happening.
Crazy stuff about LeBron too. Like that shit was like
I did like though that someone was like, it's probably not happening, but when you start hearing stuff like this, when LeBron's on your team, he's probably leaving after the year.
Yeah.
Nah, he's dipping out of there, dude. He's not wasting his time. No. I don't blame him either. They're not close to contending.
But I wonder where. I don't even know where he'd go.
I have no idea where he'd go.
He's going to the Rockets. He's going to the Sixers.
Orlando.
Is it like allowed? Can he just like sign a minimum?
No, I think there's
he
can sign like a superstar minimum. I don't know what the actual term is, but it's like there's a cap. I'm pretty sure of how low you can go.
Yeah, that's like a star player minimum, right?
I think so. I don't know what it's actually called, but
I don't know what it's called either. But like depending on how much money you made in your last contract, like your next contract can only be so low.
You know what I want to see? I want to see who's got the deepest pockets and who's. Let's go baseball salary cap for one season and see what happens.
Oh,
no salary cap.
Steve Ballmer is assembling the Avengers.
Yeah.
He's just signing everybody.
I don't know, dude. I think the Bucks front office would. Dude, they do not care about money. They just burn through it. They're paying 3 coaches for the next 2 years.
You know how many fans would kill to have owners like that, though? Like,
Oh yeah,
who
I know.
actually spent.
I've said that before. I mean, our last owner, Herb Cole, one of the greatest Wisconsin people of all time, right? He's owns Kohl's. His family owns Kohl's, like the store.
Really?
Yeah, but he was like he didn't have pockets like that, where like he was willing to just burn through money. But he loved the Bucks so much. And I'm very grateful. Ballmer almost wanted to buy the Bucks, and he wanted to relocate them though. They said no.
Seattle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weird.
Pretty sure he tried to do that with the Kings too.
Yeah, he was asking everyone if he could relocate them, and most people said no. Most teams don't want to get relocated.
Yeah. It's actually
Yeah.
it's a miracle that the Wolves are still in Minnesota, because like they really shouldn't be
No.
like at all. They were going to get moved to. So the Wolves became a team in 1989 as part of the new expansion, along with the Heat, the Magic, and one other team. And I think by year 5, the Wolves were basically about to get moved to New Orleans if they couldn't find a new owner. And Glenn Taylor bought the team, kept him in Minnesota. Why he did that, I don't know. It doesn't like.
He's real.
He's real, I guess.
Yeah,
shout out. I
the
mean,
GOAT.
Glenn Taylor, he
Not
has
like
not
that.
gotten many things right in his time as owner, but like he got that right. So
Yeah,
shout
he
out to
drove
him.
out the best player in franchise history for nothing.
Yeah, he alienated the franchise GOAT for no reason.
Yeah.
Nah, he'll be back though.
Yeah, but yes, he will as soon as A-Rod takes over. But yeah, with the Knicks, I think they're a really good team. I am curious to see. I think they are matchup dependent though. A little bit more than people would like to say. I still do not like, even though Hartenstein's been really good for them filling in for Mitchell Robinson. Even with Mitchell, if Mitchell Robinson does end up coming back, I think it's interesting to think about, because I don't know if they really do have the flexibility to outgun a lot of teams, honestly. And sometimes the playoffs does come to that. And I think that could be a problem. So they've been like, but like they're a really good team. OG's been. We were all wrong. I was wrong, completely wrong about that.
We were wrong.
I was like, I didn't think it would be that much of a change, but it is.
Not only has OG transformed their defense in a lot of ways, but he's transformed their offense too. Like it's hard to.
The offensive fit has been amazing.
The offensive fit, it's been impeccable since the first game they played. Right, like it's really hard to put into words the improvement that is OG compared to RJ Barrett. Like,
and RJ looks way better in Toronto. So
yeah, it's looking like a win for everybody right now, that trade.
RJ's, I think since the trade, RJ's averaging like 22, 6, and 5 on like 62% true shooting percentage.
Yeah, the Raptors have not won many games, but RJ has been really good. Quickly's been really good.
Yeah, and allowing RJ to be a slasher is always the move. Like he's just not consistent enough of a jump shooter for that to be his role in the NBA. So I think it's working out for them. It'll be interesting to see. I think the Raptors are still struggling in the shooting department, obviously, and Grady Dick not being near NBA level this season has been rough for them.
He showed some flashes lately, but
he's been better lately.
He's still pretty far out from being
which is really weird because
player.
He was really touted as like this NBA ready prospect.
It still takes some guys a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. Like I'm not saying like it's like over for him by any means, but it is interesting to look at it and be like, this is just he's a jump shooter with some cutting ability, and he's got some passing chops in there. So it's just interesting to see that him like that shooting. Just I don't know if it's just he's just having a bad shooting year.
Shooting in the NBA is like a weird thing to really
Oh,
predict
trust me,
players
I
coming out.
know. You see who my point guard is right now? I know.
Yeah.
Oh
Like-
yeah. Top 3 shooter of all time.
Yeah,
Because
can't hit anything this year, dude.
some guys just like enter the NBA and develop to be really good shooters when we never expect, and some guys who we think will be shooters just aren't ever really. So I don't know.
It's weird, but the added couple inches does a lot to shot mechanics.
It does.
It sounds stupid why guys change their jumper when they come to the league, but sometimes they
Yeah.
have to because
Mhm.
the line just messes with their mental too much.
Yeah.
And I think Dick will be fine. I think Grady
Yeah,
will
I do
just-
too.
He'll be fine. He'll be fine.
Yeah.
I think we can-
He'll stimulate with the line.
Yeah. But that
But I think
OG. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say a good example. Like look at Jabari Smith's rookie year.
Yeah.
You know, and now it's like, oh wow, yeah, he is NBA ready. It just took him one season.
Yeah.
And now he's super efficient and does what he needs to do.
He's been awesome. Yeah.
And I think I don't know if Grady Dick will be that good, but I could see a similar jump in the next season or two where he's just like, oh, okay, he found the tempo and the speed of the game.
I mean, he's on the right team for it too, because if there's any team that needs to maximize their shooters, it's going to be the Raptors. So like they're going to give him time. I think he'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
What?
I'm just randomly looking at some B-ball index charts right now. It's offensive impact for forwards per 100 possessions, and Giannis is like 2 points higher on LeBron than the next person.
Oh, dang.
So funny. Also, Sacramento allegedly top 10 team in defensive bench depth. Does not pass the eye test one bit, but sure. Yeah, I think it's should be interesting for the all these guys. I think we are seeing though a lot of these rookie guys that have had struggles starting to turn around a little bit. Scoot's been a lot better recently.
Yeah.
Grady's
Had a
been a
big
lot
first
bigger,
half.
better recently.
Yeah.
Brandon Miller continues to get better.
Yeah.
He's really good.
He's so good, man.
He's very
I was
good.
wrong about that pick.
Yeah,
Completely.
he's smooth.
But here's the thing with the Brandon Miller thing. I never thought he was going to be a bad player. But in my opinion, when you were so void of talent as the Charlotte Hornets have been, and with how tall and like shooting, like how talented of a shooter LaMelo is, I always thought you just take best player available. And I just had Scoot ranked higher on my board. So
No, I mean that was pretty normal.
Yeah.
I mean, there's that. I will say I had a feeling once I saw that the Hornets mascot go. I was like, Brandon Miller is gonna be a goat, and Scoot's done. Like that's just one of those clips that ages like fine wine, and so far it has.
Yeah, Brandon Miller, I've really liked what I've seen. Like I saw him in person cook the Wolves a bit because I was at Cat's 62-point game where they lost, and Brandon Miller, like sometimes players just look the part, and Brandon Miller looks the part. Like he looks like he could be a star player, like with the way he moves, with the way he shoots, like
the shots he takes.
The shots he takes.
Like, everything is in rhythm, it feels like.
Yeah, and I had questions about his shooting in the NBA because he has kind of a low release point. It's again what you said, it's so much different in college. I was like, I don't know if he's going to be that good of a shooter right away, and he really has been. I think he's around 40.
6'7".
Yeah, I think he's around 40% from 3, something around there, which as a rookie on those kind of shots is extremely impressive. He's been great.
He needs to improve his rim pressure.
Yeah,
that was my big critique on him. I was like, I was worried about him.
37%.
37
and a half on 6 attempts.
That's really good. Still,
he's just really good. He's just looked like the right pick.
Yeah, he fits
Looks like the
perfectly.
number. He looks like the number 2
And
overall pick.
dude, Charlotte, I don't think they're as far away as it looks, honestly. Honestly, I think they have a good foundation. They got LaMelo, Brandon Miller looks great. Mark Williams, I think, is a great center.
Yeah, they're still. I
So,
think they're a couple years of development though.
oh yeah,
Off.
obviously, but I don't think
In
they're.
terms of pieces, I agree.
Yeah,
I think their core is basically settled.
I think you could be looking at them the way it just takes a couple tries at hitting on the later round guys. They need to stop drafting point guards. That's what they need to stop doing. That team is obsessed with it, dude. They draft like 3 point guards a year. I swear to God.
Yeah, I know.
They just spend all of their seconds on backup point guards that never play.
I mean, one of them will hit, hopefully.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
hopefully.
That's the thought process.
Yeah. And a lot of their guys just not being good. Like James Bouknight just not being good. Rough.
Awful.
Yeah, they've had a lot of misses.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right. Next thing we got on it. Well, we can talk a little bit about Dame's return to Portland, which was pretty fun game for some of us on the screen here. I do want to highlight a lot of things that weren't on the basketball court. Dame coming back and going to the Adidas headquarters and getting a court named after him was super sick. And I think people kind of underestimated how much like Portland and Dame are connected.
Oh yeah.
Like I don't know, dude. The vibe that I got when I saw videos of Dame just like doing random stuff in Portland was crazy. Like people just love him there. And I get that because like that's how Giannis is. Like that's like people like Giannis is like the goddamn king of Milwaukee, dude. Like he can do no wrong in that city at all. So I just thought that was really cool. And then Dame did an interview about the struggles of moving to Milwaukee. And he said that he hasn't been able to bring his kids with him. So he's been away from his kids and his other family members that live in Portland still because, you know, he hasn't, he's going through like a divorce and stuff like that. So like all that. So that's all like very complicated issues. He said it's impacted him on the basketball court. And yeah, we can tell, obviously he hasn't been playing that great. But you know, if he posts a picture with his kids in the tunnel, know he's going off. I'm saying that. It's a great betting advice.
Yeah.
Actually, this is not betting advice. I'm not trying to.
Yeah. Don't incriminate yourself.
Yeah, this is not betting advice, but those are good games to watch because Dame goes off when his kids are in attendance, except for in Portland. He did not go off when his family attendance. But the game was fun, though.
Yeah. Game was really fun.
Till the end.
Like, yeah, well, I mean, it was great at the end. But
actually, no, it was actually a pretty good final sequence. Malik Beasley, don't care. He's not a good defender, but my God, he at least gives his effort. He gives his best.
He did a good job. I mean, I think people overrate bad. I don't know how I'm wording this, but like overrate bad defense, where they see someone get scored on and they're like, "Oh, it's a bad defender." But these are guys are NBA players. Like, I don't think Malik Beasley is I don't think he's a good defender, but I don't think he's trash. Like, he's solid. Like, throughout the whole game, he did a solid job contesting. Like, there's a limit to him. He's 6'4" or whatever, right? So
I think it comes and goes from what I learned from my time watching Beasley. I noticed that when he's making his shots, he plays more defense. And when he's not when he's not making his shots, when he's not getting looks, when he's not getting passed to as much as he wants, the defensive intensity lessens.
Yeah, so which that is an issue.
That's an issue for sure. But that's also not exclusive to him. Like a lot of players are like that, where they kind of tap in and out of the defensive side depending on how their offense is going. Super normal. That happens to a lot of players. But yeah, I only watched part of the game. I think I watched like the second half to the end. I was there to see Scoot cook. I was happy to see that. But yeah, it was just a really cool scene in Portland. You've got your franchise GOAT coming back after like
Messy.
after a kind of a messy split, but it looked like there was no love lost, which is like you want to see that. Like
that might have been the loudest Moda Center was ever been.
Yeah,
like that was like a 2.5-minute ovation. It was a lot.
Yeah, like just to see the embrace between Portland and Dame again, it was a cool sight to see. And like, yeah, there's no way he doesn't go back to playing for Portland at some point. Like, he's finishing his career there. I have no doubts about that.
After this contract, he's probably signing with Portland. It's just
I'd probably say that. I think he's gonna have a shot at winning a championship, and whether it happens or not, I think he's gonna want to ride things out with the Blazers at the end.
Yep. Which
he's gonna play out his contract.
Very much welcome to.
He's gonna play out his contract to Milwaukee. It's 4 more years. He's gonna play out that contract and probably leave, I would assume. He'll be like 38.
The only way I see him switching teams is if he gets traded. I don't think and I mean I don't think he'll request again. I mean, like, the front office would just move on from him.
I don't know. I don't think.
But overall,
I don't think that duo is going anywhere for the next 3 or 4 years, probably. So,
but with the Dame and the whole city thing, like, I think I've said it on the pod before, but he is like Portland's identity.
Yeah.
There are people that don't even know a lick of basketball. They don't even care. They are, in a whole different world in terms of sports. Maybe not even sports fans, but they know
who Damian Lillard is.
Yeah. And everybody who has lived in Portland knows.
Yeah,
that's so cool.
That's what's cool about sports is like, the actual games being played every night of the season, they don't really matter. Like all-star conversations, MVP, who's averaging what, like none of that really matters. But to see these athletes have like real world effects on the people in the communities they play in, guys like Dame, like Giannis, who are known for doing community work where they play, like that's the kind of impact that is remembered forever, really.
Oh yeah.
Not as much the big shots or the game winners or the playoff wins, but like, these athletes, like
they mean something to the
they
people.
Mean something to people. They really do.
Yeah, especially youth. Like
especially the youth. Yeah.
In Portland, Damian Lillard had a whole like leadership program that he did with the local high schools, and he would like shout out like certain people that are doing stuff in the community or like maybe doing individual projects and all that. And it's like these are kids that are getting a free platform from NBA superstar. Like that is insanely valuable. People I think take that for granted a little bit.
Yeah.
With sports.
People definitely do. Mm-hmm. Especially in this current culture of betting and hot takes, and it gets really crazy. But yeah, like I know for me, seeing guys on the Wolves be active in the community like that, there's a real effect that has, for sure. Like when George Floyd was happening, seeing Kat and D'Lo and all these guys out there, connecting with people and providing support, donating money, like, that's why this stuff matters. Really.
Giannis spoke to it too recently. He won the Community Assist Award. And he said that this means more to him than any of his other accolades, because his other accolades are for him. And this one was a representation of what he's done for the community and the city and his family as well. And I think that's one of the things that I'll stand by with Giannis, with like Thanasis being on the team and us having like Alex down in the G League and stuff. He cares about his family and he brings them with everything he does, and he does good with that. It's not just for nothing. It's not just for monetary or selfish reasons, So
Yeah.
for sure. Well, we got some other teams we were going to talk about here. You guys want to talk about the Nets or the Rockets?
Let's do Brooklyn first.
Brooklyn. Okay. So, Brooklyn has been the centerpiece in a lot of trade rumors, as we all know here. Dorian Finney-Smith, Royce O'Neal, McCall even, Spencer Dinwiddie for whatever reason.
Claxton too.
Claxton
Talk something
now.
about that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but every report that we hear from the Nets is that they are not trading these guys for assets, that they're just like, they want to trade them, but they need the right package, blah, blah, blah. Dude, Sean Marks, bro, I'm telling you, man, I don't know if it's ownership that's telling you this. Whatever. If it is, you can't really do much. But if this is just a front office decision to just keep this core together right now, what is the point? What are you achieving? You're barely the 10 seed right now. I don't even think they are the 10 seed. Yeah, they're the 11
What it
seed.
is
They're 9 games under 500.
Yeah. What it is that they were trying to just be a play-in / borderline playoff team that sells tickets.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all they were trying to do. And
which is fine. Like, that's fine to have that aspiration, but like, they aren't that, right?
No.
Like, they failed to do that. They need to adapt their goals and kind of, course correct a little bit by selling a lot of these guys for future assets, and they aren't for some reason. Like,
and also a lot of these assets are valuable.
Yeah.
Because like we've seen it with OG and Pascal. Like, hold on to McCall for too long. Like, you're gonna get 3 seconds in a solid, like an okay role player. You know what I mean? You gotta realize where you're at, and you gotta sell while you're high on the price.
Yeah. And I understand that, like, the Nets organization, they love Mikal Bridges. Like, they love having a player who, like, be the face of their franchise, who's such a stark contrast from KD or Kyrie. Like, they really like Mikal and what he brings to the organization, but they aren't in a position to win around Mikal, like, really at all. They had a decent start of the season. Like, first 2 months, I think we all thought maybe, okay, they're off to a fine start. Maybe they'll keep this up, but they really have fallen off a cliff since then. They've been awful for kind of a while now. They'll get a few wins here and there. The Cam Thomas led offense with all the role players around him, like, that was not sustainable. And
I don't know how people thought it was.
Yeah, just wasn't sustainable at all. And now they've kind of fallen into this weird spot. Like, they're kind of like the Bulls, I guess, a little bit now, where they just have no direction. I mean, at least Brooklyn they have assets. Like, they have players teams want, clearly. I just don't know why they aren't trading them. Like, we said this before the show, but I saw a report yesterday that said they declined a pick. They declined 2 first-round picks in exchange for Dorian.
There's no way it was 2 straight first. I would assume it was a first and a swap, but either way, take that.
Either way, you take that. If they could get 1 first for DFS, that's kind of as a good return. But if they can get any more than that, like, I don't understand why they didn't take that deal if that was really available. Or the Jalen Green rumored deal, where they get Jalen Green and they get a lot of their picks back, and they give up Mikal. It's like, the smart team building move is to make that trade, and they didn't do it.
I think Mikal is a better player than Jalen Green right now, obviously.
Obviously, yeah.
But I think if you are with limited asset pool of picks, at least, I would 100% try and acquire a talent like that if I can get it.
Yeah,
Like that's a true rumor.
Jalen Green's stock is at an all-time low right now, but
he's been good the last 10 games.
Yeah, and I still think there is star potential somewhere in there. I don't know if it'll ever be fully realized, but
it could be a
I believe it's in there.
Slow process.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's in there.
Development's not linear. Like people got to realize that rookies can come out hot and then they can suck for the rest of their career. Or
yeah, and especially
you never know.
Especially with how that Rockets organization was run his first 2 years there, like maybe a change of scenery is what he needs to just reset, start fresh with a new team. I don't want to get way too into Jalen Green stuff. But yeah, Brooklyn.
They should be selling everybody. I don't care what the package is. If you want to keep McCall, fine. I get it. Cam Johnson, sure. But like, dude, Royce O'Neal, $9 million expiring contract. If you can get
trade him,
even a single pick for him, like a second, get a second. Like I guarantee you, if the Bucks called and said, "Give me Royce O'Neal and Dennis Smith Jr., and I'll give you Pat Connaughton, campaign, and Portland's second round pick this year," it'll be a borderline first. Just take it. They're expiring contracts. We're just gonna walk for nothing in the offseason, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Get something. Same thing with Claxton. If you're not gonna re-sign him, trade him.
Yeah, get something back before you're left with McCall and nothing else.
And like this whole plan of being the like fun play-in team that everyone wants to watch, you're not a fun play-in team. The season's over halfway done. Okay,
especially if your players are older too. Like they don't have a bunch of 20, 21-year-olds. Like McHale's 27. Cam Johnson is about that age too, maybe a bit younger.
This isn't like the Grizzlies, like 3 or 4 years ago.
Dinwiddie's older. DFS is older. Claxton's older. Like this isn't really. I don't think of this team as being a young team. I don't know if you guys do, but it's just a bad situation in Brooklyn, and I thought they'd be better than this before the season. Like I thought they could be that fun play-in team, sneak in as a lower seed. But I was wrong. Like that's just not happening with the current layout of the East, and them not adapting. It's not looking to be like a good situation. And honestly, I think that if they don't if they don't like get this thing going in the right direction, I think Sean Marks is at risk of losing his job.
Yeah,
like I think he's on the. I believe he should be on the hot seat.
I think you could argue the time to move on from Sean Marks was a long time ago, and I think it's going to happen pretty soon if they don't do something with this team.
Yeah, but like if the rumors are true, and you could have gotten like 6 first-round picks total for Dorian Finney-Smith and Mikal Bridges, dude, do it. Just do it. Like, and Mikal isn't making that much money. It's an easy trade target. I guarantee you the Knicks would try because he's from Villanova.
Get the Villanova boys. That would be pretty sick. I'm not gonna lie.
Like, go get a couple picks back. Just something. Just get something, dude. But yeah, not too much to talk about there. Ben Simmons came back, played one game, and they got hurt again, so that's hilarious. But he
was good in that game too.
Yeah, he was really good.
Borderline triple-double, right? Like 10, 8, 12 or something like that.
Almost.
I think he had 8 rebounds.
No turnovers too.
Yeah.
He was good.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I didn't watch that game. I just saw the stat. Sheet.
Yeah. Then the last couple things we have, the Rockets, we kind of briefly touched on them. But apparently they're buying. They want to buy it for a star coming soon here. They want to take themselves into the next echelon of team within the next year. So they're looking to buy and acquire talent. They just traded for Steven Adams for like 3 seconds, I think. So it's not much to talk about there, I feel like, but it's been an interesting set of rumors for them, I guess.
I what is like a piece that would put them over the top? Like a point guard, you think, or a
I don't know.
forward?
Van Fleet's been pretty good.
Like,
I think they need a scorer.
yeah, they need
Yeah.
someone to like fill the Jalen Green role that's not Jalen Green,
Yeah,
like to a
I
better
mean,
extent
I don't know where they land right now. Let me
in terms
look
of
at it. I'm
standings. They're
gonna look
11th.
at no. I'm gonna say like the efficiency landscape with the
Mm,
you know what graph I'm talking about.
yeah,
Gosh, oh god, I can't type. Okay, because he just got posted today for the last 10 games. Yeah, they're in that. Oh my god, Miami number 29 offense over the last 10 games. Can you guess who's worse than them?
Last
Well,
10 games,
Yeah,
offense.
Washington.
no,
Hmm.
they've been surprisingly keeping their head above water, but because of the other end of the ball.
Minnesota.
No,
Like Bulls.
no,
Uh,
worst team.
Grizzlies.
Yep, Grizzlies.
Hmm.
They're by far the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah, now that you say, it, I remember
Makes
seeing
sense.
that graph.
Yeah. Yeah, they're on the quadrant of woe line on the efficiency landscape. Which is hilarious. They're like right at the borderline. And they're closer to Club Tibbs than which is so funny. I love the quadrants and how they're named. But yeah, I think if they could get some offensive juice, I think their defense would feed off of that a little bit. I would say Zach Levine, but Zach Levine's way too much money to cover. So I don't know who they could target. That's what I think McCall would have been a good pickup for them. You know what he's giving.
I no, I like the McCall pickup.
But I don't really know what their whole deal is.
No, I don't either because I feel like they got a lot of good young talent. That it's just like I don't know. I get that they have good talent and they might be a little ahead of schedule than they thought they were this year, but I'm worried they're gonna buy it too fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they have like they have a lot of like guys on their first contracts. Like let them get their second contract and like solidify as a core a little bit, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My goodness. I'm looking at this efficiency landscape. Worst defense over the last 10 games. By far. Not even close.
Worst defense.
Good team.
Milwaukee.
No.
Denver.
Not a really good, not like a contender.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Western Conference playoff team.
Mavs. Oh,
Yeah.
playoffs.
Mavs.
Oh, it's the Mavs.
Not even close, dude. Not even
Damn.
close. To number 29 is the Jazz. There's probably obviously there's no numbers, but there's probably a inch gap between them.
That makes sense.
Jesus.
Like
Oh yeah, they're horrible.
the
They're horrible.
Wolves, we just played the Mavs and I think we put up like 130 on them, which for the Timberwolves might as well be 200. Like that's a lot of points.
Dude, I know every game you watch, you're sitting there, you watch the bench start to check into the game, and you just know the entire offense is about to crumble.
Oh my god.
I feel the same way though, dude. I gotta watch Bobby Portis post up for fucking 20 minutes a night.
Listen, I will never ever take winning for granted. Like,
yeah.
I have watched too many bad teams to complain about small stuff with a winning team, but we just lost to the Spurs last week, and when Chris Finch puts in the lineup of Kyle Anderson, non-shooter, Shake Milton, non-shooter, Jordan McLaughlin, non-shooter, Rudy Gobert, non-shooter, Naz Reid, shooter. When you've got that lineup with that spacing in there, and like
there's no reason for Cat not to be playing in that lineup instead.
We lost those minutes by so much. Like
Dude, I feel the same way.
Chris Finch, he legitimately like sold the game away with that lineup, and they only played for like 3 minutes together at the beginning of the fourth, and that lineup caused
Ruined
a domino effect of every other thing to go wrong. Like, yeah, the spacing with the Wolves is still a really big issue. And I need them to be active on the trade market. Like they got to get someone. Alec Burks, I would welcome in with open arms to this team. Tyus
Yeah.
Jones, same thing. Monte Morris, same thing. Like we need somebody, but I've been saying that forever, so it's not really new.
Same. Yeah. Did want to point out one quick little trade thing that I saw. The Grizzlies have been reached out to about Marcus Smart by the Bucks and the Lakers, I believe it was. But they said that they're not trading him at this time. So I don't know if that was recently a call or if that was like earlier this season, maybe. So
LeBron to Memphis.
LeBron. That's so funny. And I wanted to share a fun stat. Gobert's DPOY season in 2018, 44 steals, 129 blocks. Wemby's first 42 games of his rookie year, 47 steals, 134 blocks.
No, Vic's gonna walk away with a couple deep boys.
Yeah, like next season, dude. Like
the only people I see taking it from him are like Chad Mobley. Like in terms of like future bigs.
Yeah, for sure. Even then, dude, he is like a generational defender already. It's so funny. You literally just can't shoot at the rim when he's there.
And it's even for like big scorers, like Paulo, like a 6'10" shot creator, doesn't. I was watching the Magic Spurs game. He didn't know what to do. He didn't shoot anytime Wemby was on him.
He was giving Giannis trouble around the rim.
Yeah,
but Giannis just went through him eventually. So as he does.
He does that to everybody.
Yeah, there's nothing you're doing to that guy. But anything else we want to talk about? Otherwise, I think we can wrap it up.
No, I think that's
trade deadline on Thursday.
Yep.
Yes, that should be exciting because I'm ready for some trades to fly through.
Yeah, I'm expecting Portland to do a lot, at least something.
Yeah,
I think a big roster switch up. Honestly, I think all three of our teams would probably make a trade.
Yeah, Bucks are actively shopping Pat Connaughton and campaign package. What a package!
Yeah,
that is. What a package that is. But even though I mess with campaign, he's funny.
Yeah,
he's a funny player.
He is funny.
But yeah, I think that's about it. Yeah, we'll be back on Thursday. We're gonna upload a video for the trade deadline. We don't know if it'll be a full episode or we'll just talk about the trades that happened, which will probably end up being like 45 minutes an hour anyways. So but we're gonna look out for that. Appreciate everybody for watching this episode of Soul Hoops. We'll be back at a later date. Leave a like, subscribe, comment, do all the good stuff, and peace out.
Peace.
Peace.